What is photovoltaics? Due to the photovoltaics revolution that the world has experienced over the past 20 years, the term solar energy has changed meaning for most of us. Before the revolution, solar energy was commonly thought as the energy harnessed by plants from the sunlight. Now, it is accepted as the energy we harness from the sun using solar panels. Photovoltaics encompass all about solar energy, which work with the light, radiation, from the sun by using its photons. Solar panels are constructed based on an old, 1839, principle, the photoelectric effect, where it was found that small objects could be electrostatically moved by some materials that were exposed to sunlight. Fast forward to today, and we have the silicon-based solar modules that utilize modern composite materials and ingenious techniques to generate direct electrical current, DC. Thin silver conductors are intertwined, above and below, wafers of different types of silicone. When exposed to sunlight, this arrangement causes a voltage difference on the two sides of the wafers, and as a result generate electrical current. Many solar cells, collected in a solar module, can harness and add many currents and send it to its terminal connectors as DC. In a photovoltaic system, other components like combiners, inverters, charge controllers, and batteries are used to generate usable electrical flow ranging from 12 volts DC to many AC voltages like 110 and 220. Modern solar panel technology was developed by scientists in the Bell Laboratory in the 1950s using a design from a 1939 design by Russell Ohl. In the 1970s, space agencies like NASA and Roscosmos adopted silicon-based solar panels when it became critical to power spacecraft and satellites. Since photovoltaics was a much safer and lighter option than nuclear reactors. Through the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, solar energy was largely limited to institutional and government projects. And panel efficiency remained limited. It wasn't until after 2008 that solar panels started to become powerful and affordable enough for a wider variety of applications. And, as the US government invested heavily in solar technology after the passing of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, photovoltaics saw a rapid increase in development and use through today. In this book, I will focus on solar for energy production because I, as many more, have found that solar energy is the simplest, most available, and most affordable type of alternative energy technology, especially when compared to wind and geothermal. What is wind energy? Many parts of the world, including out at sea, enjoy steady and strong winds throughout the year. Wind energy is the harnessing of the wind to generate mechanical work and electrical current. Windmills were used for a few centuries in ancient times by several civilizations. And, after the invention of the electrical generator, wind turbines have been used for electricity production for over 100 years. Wind energy, today, is accepted to be the harnessing of the wind using wind turbines to generate usable electrical current. Wind turbines can produce DC current or AC current, depending on the type of generator it has. Turbines work based on the Faraday generator principle, where mechanical or kinetic energy is transformed into electrical charge using electromagnetism. Simply put, a set of airfoils, wings, are attached to a shaft that turn a generator as they are turned by the force of the wind. The generator then produces the electrical current using electromagnets, which is then channeled by wires to the load or battery. Although wind turbines can be more difficult and expensive to purchase and set up, they offer a viable electrical production alternative in many areas of the world. Many models are small enough to install in residences, boats, and other recreational vehicles. Wind energy in the US, and throughout the world, has grown significantly. A staggering 2% of the world's energy comes from wind.
What is geothermal energy? Many parts of the world, especially those near seismic activity or tectonic plate junctions, can use geothermal energy. It is complex, expensive, and largely accessed by commercial and industrial facilities. However, many areas of the US and the world can have geothermal or ground source heat pumps installed on residential applications. Basically, a residential geothermal system taps into the heat produced in the Earth's crust to heat up spaces and water on the surface. Holes are bored from 15 to 122 meters deep to channel the ground heat to the surface to installed heat exchangers. At least 2 holes are needed, an in and an out. Equipment must be installed at the location of service above ground, like the heat pump and other equipment. Geothermal energy can be used for both heating and cooling of air and water. Industrial-scale geothermal energy taps into sources of very hot water kilometers underground. It is a source of energy used and highly developed in countries like China, the United States, Turkey, Germany, France, and Japan. Iceland and the Philippines lead the world in their percentage of national energy harnessed from geothermal energy.
What is climate change? The topic of climate change is vast and multifaceted. But simply put, climate change is the trend of rising Earth's sea and air temperatures as recorded from millions of years, especially focusing on the trend since the mid-1850s, the onset of the Industrial Revolution. It is global warming, a climatic trend of increasing temperatures that produce more severe weather patterns and weather events, such as rainfall, droughts, storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, snowstorms, cold spells, and heat waves. Climate change is an established science, with the support of most of the world's scientific authorities. And it is accepted as being exacerbated, or driven, by human-caused environment-polluting activities.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please look for the next episode soon. And please ensure you like this content and subscribe as a sign of support and for me to continue to provide this type of content to people like you. By HVB. May 2023. Georgia, USA.